Hey family, so in chapter 17 of the second book of Adam and Eve, you have the devil and his hosts appearing to Jared as his ancestors in order to trick him into sinning, okay? So you have the devil, he's pretending to be Adam. And then he have his hosts with him that are pretending to be Abel, Enos, Seth, Canaan, and Mahalalel. Okay, and Mahalalel is Jared's father, right? He had just passed, like in the last chapter. So Jared knows these people. Okay, he know Mahalalel, his father, right? He know Canaan, okay? He knows Seth because he was alive, right? Because right now it says he's 487 years old, right? So he's been alive for a while, and that he's been alive long enough to know who his own father is, right? And how he act, to know who his grandfather Canaan is, and to know who his great-grandfather Seth is, right? But the devil thinks that we're so stupid, right? He was bold. Can you say bold? He was bold. He thought Jared was so stupid that he could come in the form of his ancestors in order to trick him. Okay? So if you drop down to verse 18, it says, "Now therefore, O my son, hearken to my counsel and go down to them, thou and thy children. Ye will rest from all this suffering in which ye are. But if thou wilt not go down to them, then arise, take thy children, and come with us to our garden. Ye shall live in our beautiful land, and ye shall rest from all these troubles which thou and thy children are now bearing." Okay? And it says when Jared heard this, right, he didn't go down to the children of Cain, and he didn't go with these figures that was appearing to him as his ancestors, right? It says he just sat there wondering at them, right? He didn't make a quick decision. He had to stop and think. Like, his father had just died, and right before he died, he specifically told him, do not go down to the children of Cain and have intercourse with them. Do not mix with them, because they are sinners and murderers. And because the devil was so mad that the children of God was doing well, he pretended to be something he wasn't in order to trick them into listening to him to do something where they knew was wrong. So he came as Adam and all that has passed in order to tell them to go down there and to sin against God's command, which was not to mix with the children of Cain because they were sinners and murderers. He's appearing and telling them to go down and to mix with the children of Cain. And he said, if you don't want to mix with them, then come with me into my land, into the garden. You don't see how he tried to make like things is his when everything is God. So Jared had to stop and think, right? Let's think about it. He's like, let's think about this. My father just died and just told me not to go down here. Then I have these people appearing in front of me telling me something different. They kind of look like my ancestors, but something is off. If the devil has done it before, he'll do it again. All through this book. I'm telling y'all need to get this book. Okay? Get this book. Y'all see it? Get it, okay? Because all through that book, the devil plays the same, he does the same thing over and over. He just keep taking different forms. That's all he do. Keep taking different forms, coming to God's children and trying to trick them into sinning against God so they can be destroyed. God said this is what Jesus is doing. Because if you read this book, you'll see Jesus didn't complete the prophecy. Why? One, he came way too early. And God said specifically in this book, right, that he don't do anything too early, right? He gave Adam a time frame before he can come back to the garden. And he said he couldn't come back anytime earlier than that because he had already spoke it. And once he speak it, that's it. Okay? Once he speak it, that's it. So if you read this book, you realize that Jesus came too early. 2, from this book and from the book of Enoch, right, you'll realize that Jesus, when Jesus came to die, because it's supposed to be God, God says in this book that he's going to take flesh and he's going to come and die for us, right? But when he died for us, that is going to be the end of the world. It's going to be the end. That's when he's going to come and save everybody. At the end, he's going to die and come and save his people, and we're going to go and dwell with him in the garden. That didn't happen with Jesus. As you can see, we're still here. Right? And the third thing, God said we would never see sin again. I don't know about y'all, but it seems like I'm seeing more sin than ever. Right? So this is the thing. And you know how we talked about yesterday about how Jesus, when he's deflecting, he'll be like, you know how this happened, but you know, right? Like how he was talking about how, you know, Moses gave them circumcision, right? And they circumcised on the Sabbath. But when you read in the book of Jubilee, God gives them permission because he says you should miss no day. It has to be on the 8th day. So he basically is giving them permission that if the 8th day falls on the Sabbath, you have my permission to circumcise your children because this is our blood oath, right? This is how I know you are my children, right? If you don't make this blood oath with me, then you're not a part of my crew, right? You're not a part of my tribe. So it's like Jesus is doing how the devil is doing in this book. Their ancestors told them one thing and then he's coming back, or God would tell them one thing and he comes back in this figure pretending to be something he's not in order to tell them to do something they're not supposed to do. Come on, let's